Chargers. Next on CBS, the road to the Final Four continues with college basketball. Some of you will see 9th-ranked Kansas take on South Carolina. Others will have a Big Ten battle between Michigan State and Indiana. And that wraps it up from here. We will see you next week on the NFL Today. Enjoy the day.
Get to work faster with Teresa Rossini. CBS 11 News this morning.
9th-ranked Kansas has taken a lead over South Carolina. 15:46 to play in the first half. We're watching college basketball on CBS.
Trust. It's everything. Nobody hands out trust. Talent is one thing. Combine talent with people you trust, and you will walk on that court with a level of respect no one can match.
The Hartford, a company built on 195 years of trust. Ask your advisor what The Hartford can do to help you plan for your future. Because you're not preparing to retire. You're preparing to live.
CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Michelob Ultra Amber, the new look of light beer. By Singular, raising the bar. And by Chevrolet, an American Revolution. With Bill Raftery, Kevin Harlan, we're in Columbia, South Carolina. 9th-ranked Kansas beginning 2-5. South Carolina beginning 2-6 from the field.
It looks like Kansas wants to push the ball, Kevin. The game plan is get it inside. They've done that well, but they have turned it over. And counter that with the low scoring, South Carolina's favor. But the key, I think, for them is how Kelly plays. I mean, if he can play the whole game solidly, not have any problems with the sprained knee, they can hang themselves in there.
Kelly hurt the knee against Jacksonville back in late December. He had started 53 consecutive games for South Carolina until Wednesday. They worked him out last couple days. There was no swelling after the practices, and so he's ready to go today.
Dave said almost a miracle what he was able to do.
Kansas has not made any changes, although Sasha Khan is on the bench with 2 fouls. They rely on him for a lot of rebounding. He's had 5 or more rebounds in the last 4 straight games for Kansas.
You can see the reaction on Shelton by Chambers. They're not going to let him get free off a screen. Terrific deep shooter.
South Carolina made no changes in their lineup out of that break. Here is a 3 by Kelly. Another offensive rebound. This is collected by Day. Pickpocketed by Robinson. They're still looking for a Look at Julian Wright. Dive on the floor, and they called it just.
Does he have a future?
Isn't that amazing?
He's got talent that's extraordinary and just gives everything. I mean, I just love to watch him play. Get down and dirty. That's all part of it. Who wants it more?
Well, Bill Self has just gotten a technical foul, jumping off the bench. He thought that perhaps his player was shoved on the play. So Self has picked up the tee and had to be restrained by the other coaches on the side.
He mustn't have liked his breakfast. I mean, out early. There was a lot of banging initially. I could see that. Bill protecting your players, that's part of the game.
We have a ranked team in the top 10. We have an unranked team in South Carolina. For them, this has been circled on their calendar for a long time.
Well, the last couple of years, they've been close to getting into the NCAA, South Carolina. This is an important game for March when the committee meets. I mean, you're playing a powerful team, and Shelton, who's what an extraordinary free throw shooter, 90%. A little bit like yourself in your heyday.
Yeah, exactly. See my stroke. He is a junior college transfer from Fullerton, California. He had 20 the other night when they were playing shorthanded. And he has been a player they've relied on now in his senior season.
He reminds me a little bit of you in this sense. He wants to be an actor. You never know.
Well, you never know. Working with you a lot can happen. And they're still discussing now. I think they're also checking the time to make sure the clock is correct.
Yeah, who had
possession. Kansas will have it.
Bill trying to shake him up a little bit.
Well, they lost their really one true road game in Las Vegas in the games they played at that invitational neutral floor. Kansas City, technically a neutral floor, but a heavy Kansas presence there. But they played at DePaul, leading by 14 in the second half, and lost to them.
And, you know, they weren't ready for a zone defense. I mean, they will see some today. That was part of the problem against DePaul. Look at this dribble drive.
Great move inside by Chalmers. Kansas on a 7-1 run right now.
He can mix his game up. Nice denial. Look at the big guy hustling. You saw him just dive on the floor. If you just don't put any snap on your chest pass, these kids slide between and just gamble beautifully. They know they're going to get help from back.
Well, they value deflections as much as anything.
Exactly.
Great defense by Chalmers. Now you got Wright on top, and then they throw Brandon Rush at you.
Shelton will not get a look unless he uses the dribble.
This is Dominique Archie. Backed away by Chalmers. Shot clock is at 8. Continues to roll down.
Kelly usually they give him a ball screen, repeats him himself.
And this is Trey Kelly into the jaws of Kansas's defense. And outside, a two-point shot by Wallace will not go. Rebound by Robinson. Down court for Rush, who is the leading Kansas scorer and 15th in the Big 12.
And there's that high-low. It's usually better when Wright is outside looking down. Here he comes now. Let's see if they establish him.
One of the great things Kansas does is they move it from side to side. Get that defense moving all the time.
Extraordinary. Rush good with the bounce, good without it. Not a good look here.
And a great steal by Wallace. And ahead it goes for Dominique Archie. And his pass is over the head of the 6'9" Wallace. They say deflected. It's off of Kansas, I think. Yes, it is.
If you're going to run in your South Carolina, you must convert. You're not going to get a lot of opportunities because today pace becoms essential.
They changed it, Bill. They one official
I didn't see anybody hit it. I thought it was a bad pass.
One official overruled the other. They're still trying to get their legs as they now bring in Sharon Collins, a talented freshman from Chicago, Illinois.
A tough kid, football, baseball in high school.
A three by Chalmers. He was not being aggressive early in the season. Bill Self sat him down. He got more aggressive. He put in 22 against Boston College, and over the last 3.5 games, he has been on a tear.
He's played confidently, very solid leadership qualities. Shot with a screen. He's got to keep himself real active, and again, beat his guy with the dribble. They're going to be right up and under him with the quickness.
We've had a tie and a lead change.
And there it is. Chalmers is up and causes the turnover.
Well, he's first team all Big 12 defense a year ago. Why not? I mean, the guy can do so much on the defensive end.
Well, he and Robinson terrific at stealing the basketball. And Bill, a couple weeks ago, was out there. Best all-around player we have, Chalmers. That's saying a lot with this group.
Hahn remains on the bench with his 2 fouls. Russell Robinson has taken a breather. Chalmers has played every second so far. Here is a whistle. It goes inside. They call it on Dominique Archie.
Yeah, Archie on the duck end. What they do is they run a side screen and roll. And then the big, either Khan or Arthur, duck in and present themselves beautifully.
Ousmane Kanoté from Senegal has just checked in for more size. The freshman Archie will take a breather on the Dave Odom bench.
And there's a nice cross screen for lob. Good defense.
This is Rush for 3. And pulled out of the air by Wallace. Gets it out to Trey Kelly. One of the best guards in the Southeastern Conference.
It is what they have to do. If you don't have it, run something. Make this team guard. Look at the denial. Great job.
More deflection.
Another one. Oh. Oh. He wears you out, doesn't he? Up and under.
Roderick Stewart will check in for the Jayhawks, taking the place of Julian Wright.
And Roderick Stewart started the URI game. URI, Rhodey.
Yep. Because Wright was late for practice. Here comes Collins, the #1 3-point shooter on KU.
Now, you were late for your pickup, and we started you.
What I would do as a teammate.
Don't leave control, right? Don't leave your feet.
Well, CBS Sportsline features an all-star team of college basketball analysts, including the new voice for CBS Sportsline, Gary Parrish, and CBS Sports' own Clark Kellogg. It's college coverage at its best at CBSSportsline.com. Now here is Brandis Rayleigh-Ross, who just checks in the game, but another turn away. And it's a 2-on-1 with Chalmers and Rush with the great athletic catch in the 2 inside.
How about the intelligence, too? A lot of kids would have tried to jam it. Get the deuce.
Kansas on a 12-1 run right now over the last 4.5 minutes.
All because of this end. Been solid.
Trey Kelly and a foul called on Chalmers. Kansas throws a lot of defensive firepower at you.
It all starts on that defensive end, the ability to play the dribbler, deny the pass, and right here the poise just to gather yourself and convert. Brandon Rush.
There's a look at Bill Self, who got a contract extended back in late November, a new 5-year deal. Here is Kelly, who is averaging 17 points a game, and he is the 4th leading scorer in the Southeastern Conference.
This guy really understands the game. He's got a terrific ability. He runs the show. In Trey, we trust. Give him the ball, let him run. When he has the basketball, they get up and down, or they pull the plug, as they've done on occasion today. This is a solid performer, and he looks pretty good thus far with that sprained knee.
He's number 2 in the Southeastern Conference in minutes played. We'll have to see if that knee, which is at about 90%, can withhold those kind of minutes.
And they really don't have a true point backup. That is a major dilemma for Dave Oden.
Well, they're playing the 6'9" center at point guard the other night.
And he needs
Western Carolina.
How many 6'9" centers need 36 blocks to be the all-time block leader?
Roderick Stewart, a transfer from USC, played last year, started last game. What a pass by Rush into Terrell Arthur.
What he did beautifully, kept the extra dribble to keep the defense honest, and an unusually crisp delivery.
From a big man, too. Here's Sheldon. Rayleigh Ross. Freshman from Charlotte. They try to keep it alive. Shot clock, plenty of time as they put Collins on Kelly, Robinson on Rayleigh Ross. And here is Bryce Sheldon into Canote. And he traveled. 11:50 to play. 11:20 to play in the first half. And Kansas up by 7. Great pass into Terrell Arthur. Four years ago, we had some pretty prominent names in college basketball in different places. And now we see since then what they've done with their programs over that 4-year span.
Some pretty wise choices by some athletic directors, don't you think?
I would say so.
Of course, the championship, Final Four for Bruce and Bill Self. A step away, and Roy getting it all done with the Tar Heels. National title 2005. Their hairdos don't change much.
Nope, they look the same.
You know? I know their bank accounts improved.
We told you December 30th was the last game they played against Rhode Island. They've had 8 days off, so what they did this past week on Tuesday and Wednesday, they had 2-a-day practices. They were off Thursday, practiced once Friday, once yesterday, and then flew down here to South Carolina.
And Bill had a little anger management session, too, before he came out, I think. An early technical foul to get into the game. But he's concerned about their defense. He feels if they improve, they're a different team. It looks like a little bit of a zone look now. See how they match in it? Exchanging down the cutter.
No changes for the Jayhawks. This is Collins to Robinson.
Big thing here, Kevin, is offensive rebounding. That's the danger when you go into this zone.
Here's Stewart looking inside for Arthur. And shoved on the play by Canote, who draws his first going up against Terrell Arthur, who was a Mr. Texas high school basketball a year ago.
Did you see Chompers dunk the ball on the missed shot? I mean, his elevation is something as well.
Stewart will leave, and Julian Wright will come back in for the Jayhawks. Canote is gone. They bring back in Dominic Archie for the Gamecocks.
And Bill Self thought he would play bigger at times. Right now he's got the small forward in Brandon Rush. Robinson and Collins in the backcourt. There's that screen and pop. They do a great job against zone, making themselves available.
Harper inside. That's a goaltend. Count the 2.
I'm so impressed with his offensive ability. It keeps growing. He's got a turnaround jumper. He's got that jump hook. He's got springs as well.
And he has been struggling from the field over the last handful of games. He's only gone 6 of 26, off to a much better start here in South Carolina this afternoon. From Charlotte, the freshman Rayleigh Ross.
And a big thing is the defense for Kansas. They have been sensational individually and collectively.
Archie for 3, rebounded by Rush. That's the third that Brandon has pulled down. One of the 3 great Rush brothers, Kareem and Jerron before him. Here comes Arthur again. He's shown a lot of different shots.
Yeah, sure has. Wallace with a nice big-time snatch up there.
South Carolina has not hit from the field in 8 minutes. Rayleigh Ross tries to slither inside.
And look at how they trap. It's not a call from the bench either. It's a reaction. It's so intelligent in approach.
How about that kind of trust the coach must have in his players?
Well, this talent level, there's a lot of things that can be done. Look at the ability to handle the bounce.
Wallace drives inside and tapped in by Dominic Archie, who picks up his 4th point of the game. Collins racing the other way for 2.
Well, you better get back. Don't count the house against this team. The one thing you can do on shot blockers is go at them, obviously, to get some body contact. But as you go to the rim and you get by, the help comes. Weak side offensive rebounding prevails.
This is the final game before conference play for both these teams. Kansas will be at home Wednesday against the Cowboys of Oklahoma State. And South Carolina travels to Georgia to take on the Bulldogs on Wednesday. Brandis, Rayleigh Ross, Trey Kelly.
Ooh, that's a sprained ankle look almost, huh? He's fortunate.
Well, the Jayhawk defense has been superb so far.
Bill Self, they build everything on the ability to stop people. They channel you to get some help. Great hands. They rag the dribbler. They challenge the jump shot. There's just a collective understanding. If you're going to play defense, you're going to play. You're going to get your minutes. And this guy's done it at a lot of stops.
It was interesting hearing Dave Odom talk about the kid at the free throw line right now, Trey Kelly. He said, we rely on Kelly as much as any team in the country relies on one player. So when he's gone, I mean, where does our scoring come from? Who orchestrates our offense?
Well, they lean on him so much. And early in the year, they played Baylor. It was the best second half I've seen a kid have. He was extraordinary. He's got to play solid. Of course, with this sprained knee, when he stepped on that ball, that has to be a major concern for everybody.
Darnell Jackson has come in for the Jayhawks, and this is Robinson. And a wide-open Collins for 3, the #1 3-point shooter for KU. He's gone 6 of 12 of the last handful of games coming into this afternoon.
And Wallace really doing a great job on the glass the last 2 trips.
Here's Kelly, who has not hit from the field, and he's turned it over 4 times so far.
Now they need some inside punch to loosen things up. There's a down screen.
It's Archie, and he's picked up by Darnell Jackson, who defends on the shot and tapped it in. I think Jackson may have gotten it.
I think you're right. I think you're right. But Archie did a nice job getting in the lane.
And Chalmers looking inside for Jackson. That's a throwaway and a Kansas turnover, and it's the 6th for the Jayhawks so far.
The ability on the offensive glass, sometimes the other team has to resist you a little bit. But, South Carolina's played pretty good post defense, though. They haven't been hammered inside. Good challenge with the pressure on the ball.
Day has come back off the bench. He joins Archie and Sheldon and Trey Kelly and Wallace. That is the Gamecock 5.
Oh, no.
And Chalmers sailing in with the hard foul put on him. It sure was by Dominic Archie of South Carolina, the freshman redshirt from Augusta, Georgia.
Kevin, he did not have to come down on the man. He just had to keep his hands up. It's incredible. The length of that pass against KU. They slip screens on the defensive end. They take shortcuts. They get in passing lanes. And then the foul at the other end. Kids don't know how to give a foul anymore.
So Chalmers makes his 4th steal, takes the hard foul, and a timeout with 7:43 in the first half from Columbia. Bill Raftery, Kevin Harlan. We're in Columbia, South Carolina. You can see Kansas is +6 above the 3-point arc and shooting over 50% for the game.
And you know what jumps out at me? The steals as well. The ability in the defensive area. Chalmers averages near 3 a game. His backcourt partner Robinson almost 2 a game. Such pilferage.
Kansas is led by 9. South Carolina has led by as many as 4 in a game which is at a tie and a lead change. And the Jayhawks, who play 4 of their next 7 games on the road, including games coming up in conference play, which begins Wednesday in Lawrence. Good for them against the Cowboys. It's tough. Now, there was an intentional foul before we left. It was on Chalmers, who watches the free throw go in, the 3-time Alaska High School Player of the Year. And near the end of today's game, we will select the Chevy Player of the Game from each team to honor their determination and outstanding play. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. America's brand supports America's best. Chevy and American Revolution.
And there's that double screen, and then they step into the lane. Pretty good coverage. You see these guys look at tape, Kevin.
They do. Well, we've had a lot of practice, Bill, as we mentioned before. A lot of practice this week. 2-a-days in the middle of the season is a luxury.
And they look like they bought in Kansas defensively. Look at this distribution. You mentioned ball reversal. You can't cover. Great. Look.
Chalmers gives Kansas their biggest lead today. He leads all scorers with 10 points. And here's Collins, who is screened by Wallace.
Pretty.
And Kelly handing off to Archie. And a three-point attempt was negated with the Kansas defense. They go back inside as Kelly finds Wallace.
What a look. Great delivery.
That's why he is one of the top assist men in the Southeastern Conference. He led it last year. He is second this season. Darnell Jackson inside on Archie. And maybe, just maybe, ricocheted off the hand of Wallace with Kelly racing the other way and facing Kansas defense at the other end.
A great close. The ability to kick opposite. I mean, here it comes in here, the kick, the turn and look, and that's a lot of preparation. You can see the white shirts all on one side have to react, just can't close out quick enough. Chalmers, multi-dimensional with the knockdown.
Arthur is back in for the Jayhawks. Joining Rush and Chalmers and Robinson and Wright. There's another throwaway. Here comes Robinson, tailed by a couple of Gamecocks, and he slides in for two.
Can't feed it, and that's what they're doing right now. Making mistakes, leading to baskets, breakaways.
I think South Carolina was open for a little bit more from the crowd to carry him in this first half.
Well, you got to give him something, too.
Yeah.
Tough
and here's
shot.
a three by Kelly.
Nice play by Archie.
Saved by the freshman and by Bryce Sheldon. It's Wallace for two.
Oh, look at that check up by Rush. Good call. Good call. Bill Self is a little bit upset, but I think he was overzealous, Brandon Rush. And you love kids to stick a guy. You hear coaches at practice, stick him. And Joe Dooley trying to make sure Bill doesn't get another one. You got to walk away, too, as an official, don't you think? Don't get in the middle of it.
Well, he's got one tee already, so he's got to be very careful. Now he's going to talk.
Somebody he knows better.
Yes, that's right. That's exactly
Let
right.
me go to another address.
And here comes the redshirt freshman, Dominic Archie, to the free throw line. He is the current Southeastern Conference Freshman of the Week this week, where he's been averaging 14 points and 5 rebounds. With the rebound right there on the miss by Julian Wright, the sophomore from Chicago Heights, Illinois.
Yeah, I get the feeling Bill loves the way they're playing defense, and they're getting closer. That's what frustrates you a little bit, too. Look at this kid. He handles well and generally makes great decisions at that size.
His passes are terrific.
And look at the foul underneath. Arthur, nice slip pass.
Arthur saved it and banks it in. And now Darrell Arthur has come off the bench. He has gone 3 of 4. He's got 6 and gives the Jayhawks their biggest lead.
And Dave Oldham's trying to get his guys in the game by getting after the officials as well. Bill taking a free shot on the sideline.
And a new player is in. That is F.K. Banulis, who is from Lithuania and a freshman for South Carolina.
And they're expecting him to shoot the ball a little bit better. He's struggling a little from deep.
Went to high school in Florida. Trey Kelly. Archie. And Banulis for 3. You called it.
Lithuania, one of the great spots for basketball in the world.
Into Darrell Arthur. And although triple team nails another one, he has gone 4 of 5 from the field. And Kansas is now 12 of 18 from the floor.
And you had mentioned he wasn't shooting well.
Yeah, up until today, he had been struggling. You're right.
Big time talent.
Yes, he is. He was the Dallas High School Player of the Year.
Sarunas Marshalonis comes to mind when I say Lithuania.
Has that nice, silky, smooth stroke, doesn't he?
He does.
But the defense of the Jayhawks is just, I mean, if you've not seen it in person, you can't appreciate it.
Unrelenting. And you got to stay close to South Carolina. You got to make a move now.
Here's
Pretty
a move by Kelly, and he spoon feeds Brandon Wallace.
Woo, no credit card necessary.
So Kelly has his 4th assist. And now the crowd is back in it. We've just hit the 4-minute mark. Another 3 attempt by Chalmers. A rebound inside by Wallace, who has snared 5 rebounds for South Carolina.
You don't have to be in a hurry now. You just want to stay in contact.
And to within single digits as you go to halftime.
Exactly. Just to get your little confidence level.
Kansas is led by as many as 14.
Tough shot.
Dwayne puts it in with a great shot outside.
And not much daylight either defensively, huh? A little nylon. And everybody's awake right now. A show and a switch. Now you got to use Arthur.
Because he's got the mismatch with Kelly at 6 foot.
He's got to run and beg for it, too.
And here comes Julian Wright, carrying as well with a charge on the baseline.
I mentioned a few moments ago, South Carolina's defense has stepped up as well. They got a match. The fervor of KU. They want to win this game in Columbia, South Carolina.
Right now, let's take a look at our singular in-game analysis.
Well, when you look at this basketball game coming in, it's the pace of the game. Who does it favor if it's going quick? Well, that would be KU. And, of course, Kelly's health, very important. And banging the boards. A pretty solid effort on that end. But the guy that has lit it up, he's on fire. Darrell Arthur. The post-up ability. We've seen the slip pass to him. Here, the turnaround jumper. He has done some terrific things on that end of the floor and counter that with great presence on the defensive end.
We'll take a look at some of the numbers for Arthur in this game, who had been struggling, as we said, but 4 of 5 so far. And speaking of struggling, South Carolina started this game 5 of 18 from the field since the Gamecocks have gone 3 of 3, ignited by the Benuis three-point shot. Boy, that three-point shot is a great equalizer in college basketball.
You know, it really gives you confidence as a team, too. But they look like they've gotten their legs now. I think the key, any errant passes that lead to baskets will really set them back. They've got to be solid passing the ball.
One of the things that Kansas has done well is they've scored off the turnover, 16-2. Benuis, another 3.
Woo! How about that?
He's come off the bench with 6 points. He doesn't see a great many minutes, but he's come in to be the spark, and we've got a 6-point game.
He was 2 for 18 from out there.
It's an 8-0 run by South Carolina. It's Chalmers and Rush.
Oh, he is soft on the inside defense. I like the call.
Couple of freshmen going head-to-head. Arthur for Kansas against Dominique Archie of South Carolina, who picks up his 3rd foul and coming up on the singular at the half. Join James Brown and Seth Davis for all the scores and highlights. It's the singular at the half from our CBS studios in New York, coming up next.
How about Harvard and Duke in the studio?
Not bad, a lot of brains.
Yeah,
what about Duke yesterday against Virginia Tech?
Well, that's the way it is. No question about it. The team's ready to perform. JB and Dowdell off a good game. There's the clincher late.
Wright is out. Darnell Jackson has just come in for Kansas.
Gordon with that clincher late.
And Sharon Collins across the lane.
Like now that should have been going the other way, and it is. Someone's got to grab the ball. You can see Kansas, great anticipation and effort. That time Jackson aggressive.
Boy, from an RPI standpoint, this game means everything to South Carolina.
It really does, because they come into their conference. They've got some tough games coming up. I guess Florida right away, Kentucky. I think they're at Georgia. Yep. I mean, not an easy road.
But that means so much. And you know what? Facing a team like Kansas, perennially a top 10 team in college basketball. I mean, as a coach and a guy who puts together schedules, you've got to have some of these games on your schedule.
Well, you look at Kansas as, the wealthy, the country club set. I mean, with what they've accomplished, their great tradition. And then you've got a chance to knock them off. You've got to have a chip on your shoulder. And that certainly would enhance South Carolina at the end of this year.
Look at Trey Kelly. Out to Sheldon for 3.
He got his first open look.
And another offensive rebound. That was banged by Wallace. It's Kelly for another 3. Woo! And a great rebound by Darnell Jackson.
Boy, he presented something. They go right to the rim.
Look at Chalmers drive down court and draws South Carolina foul. Well, they got Georgia do the Gamecocks coming up in a couple of nights, but look at this terrific schedule in terms of the opponents they play in the rest of the month of January.
And Arkansas, no easy game either. Arkansas played very well against Alabama. I mean, no nights off. You tell your kids to get back. The pressure of the push is incredible, and it really showed itself there.
So here is Mario Chalmers, who in the Big 12 tournament a season ago was the most outstanding player. Last year, a two-time National Freshman of the Week. We told you about his great defensive prowess, and he picks up the loose ball and puts it in right there.
You've got to grab those opportunities. They have shown a quickness to anything for free.
Chalmers has 13 points, 2 assists, and 4 steals. Filling every category.
And also with Sheldon out, he almost had another open look. He only has had one open look. Chalmers is hurt.
He is. He hurt at the other end of the floor and is hobbling now on defense. They'll take him out immediately with Robinson checking in. Banulis with a 3 and picked up inside by Dwayne Day.
Well, the advantage on anything that misses the rim, they got the quick timeout now. Let's hope this is just a little stinger of some sort. What a pleasure to watch this kid perform.
When he was at the other end, I couldn't tell when he went airborne to put in that follow if he turned it there or if he got it on defense when he was running to the other end of the floor.
Well, tough to guess. Now, you may have caught it at the other end.
Little floater in. Let's see. I think it was at the other end. I think that was well before. As they took a look at Mario Chalmers. So they have Collins and Robinson out there with Jackson, Rush, and Darrell Arthur. In South Carolina with Day, Wallace, Banulis, Bryce Sheldon, and Trey Kelly continues to play.
This becomes a big stop if you're South Carolina, and be patient. Look at this open look. They split the 2 guys outside, get a great look.
Collins with the 3-point miss. And now here comes South Carolina approaching a minute to play in the first half. And South Carolina, down by 14 moments ago, has cut it in half, now down by 7.
This is a tough match for Arthur if they run Banulis off of picks, because the big guy's going to have to come out there quickly to close.
They put Collins on Kelly. And they got Jackson on Wallace.
Oh, that kid can really spin.
And it's Dave with another 3. And he shot that over Brandon Rush. And now he has got 7 points with a triple right there. And Carolina has come to within 4 with 41 seconds to play in the first half.
Hey, baby.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. Just wanted to talk to the most beautiful girl in the world, that's all.
That's sweet.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's just nice to know that I'm the only man in your world. I am the only man in your world, right? Baby?
Switch to singular with the fewest dropped calls.
Baby, is it Earl?
Now buy a Samsung phone and get 3 free.
Cat got your tongue? Earl got your tongue?
South Carolina is on a 12-3 run in the last 4 minutes. What happens when you train real celebrities to patrol the streets as real cops? Armed and Famous, premiering Wednesday at 8/7 Central on CBS. Final half minute of our first half. On a rainy day in South Carolina, the 9th-ranked team in college basketball, Kansas, in their final non-conference match before the Big 12 starts Wednesday.
A big rebound here for both teams.
This is Rush and Collins. And Robinson with the Jackson screen. Now Banulis is on him, and the shot clock at 8. And Arthur with a 3. And Jackson gets in there, claimed it, lost it, out of bounds, and off of KU.
Well, they really went after it, because at that key juncture, if you're South Carolina, you think you can get one. Let's see if we can get another one at the other end.
Well, South Carolina at the other end has 9 offensive rebounds to the 2 of the Jayhawks.
Wow.
That's a lot of it volleyball, but nonetheless, they got the 9.
Well, the jumpers, too, come a little bit longer. They flicked them back. And Wallace has given them a terrific first half as well. 4 left. Oh, not a good spin.
That's a charge on Kelly.
Not a good spin. And that's what they do. They collect. They put the hands together, almost lock legs and pinch the dribbler. I think that should have been just a play on that particular play. Let Kansas get it, go the other way. You got to be ready defensively now. Let me see what wrinkle. Big back screen. One goes to the hoop. One pops to the ball.
It's Collins.
Okay.
And good at it. goes any fans, but a 12-3 finish of the first half by South Carolina to end. And Dave Odom goes to his locker room down by 4 points. And Kelly, who is their leading scorer, averaging 17 a game, only has 2 points so far, 0 of 5 from the field. It's been Chalmers with 13 points for 9th-ranked Kansas. We send you to our studios after this. This is CBS Sports, the home to the men's Final Four.
Coming up on Singular at the half, Seth Davis and I will have today's scores and highlights, plus the Hoops Week in Review after this message and a word from your local station.
Always stay connected with CBS Sports Line to Go mobile web. Even manage your fantasy team. It's free. Text SCORE to 99888 to get access now. That's SCORE to 99888.
CBS Sports presents Singular at the Half. Sponsored by Singular. Raising the bar.
And welcome back to our New York studios and Singular at the half. I'm James Brown, joined by Seth Davis of Sports Illustrated. Let's get right to it with the Sunday college basketball scoreboard. Michigan make that Kansas and South Carolina. Kansas guard Brandon Rush finding Darrell Arthur for the dunk. Put the Jayhawks up by 7.
This is going to be Mario Chalmers for 3 of his 13 points. Kansas opened up a nice lead, but South Carolina went on a 15-5 run at the end of the half, and they're killing them on the boards.
Michigan State at Indiana. Michigan State's Marquise Gray takes it to the hoop. Slam dunk off the alley-oop, 12-7 Indiana. Take a look here. Indiana's Earl Callaway breaking away for the slam dunk. Up by 3 are the Hoosiers.
And here's been the man in the first half for Indiana, JB. DJ White, coming off that difficult performance against Greg Oden in Ohio State. He's got 15 in the first half, 6 for 7 from the floor. Raymar Morgan back from Michigan State today, but not enough so far.
Meanwhile, South Florida, number 10, Pittsburgh. Nice move here. Reverse layup, extending the Panther lead. Ronald Ramon of Pittsburgh sinking a three-pointer, 48-29 Panthers.
Easy one today for Pitt, JB. This is going to be Levon Kendall for 3. Pitt was 10 for 16 from behind the arc. By far the best team in the Big East so far. Later next week, they've got Georgetown, followed by UConn and Marquette.
The Bulldogs of Mississippi State taking on Tennessee. Tennessee forward Duke Cruz using a nice fake, getting to the hoop for the 2 and the foul. Volunteers leading by 7.
Vols like to put a lot of points on the board. Cruz had a really good first half here, tipping in their Chris Lofton miss at the end of the first half, but right now they're trailing at home against the Bulldogs.
Rutgers looking for a little basketball success at Cincinnati. Jamal Warren of Cincinnati, the alley-oop to Cedric McGowan for the slam. 3-point Bearcats lead. Rutgers scored. J.R. Inman sinking a 3-point shot for the Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, not a whole lot of highlights in this game, not going to lie to you. We found a few. That's Adrian Hill for Rutgers with the slam. Rutgers goes on for the win since a long season off that 33-point loss to Memphis.
Switching gears to wild card action in the NFL, Giants and Eagles all knotted at 7. These two teams split during the regular season, all tied right now in the second period of play. Jets and Patriots. Tom Brady, formidable at home, hooking up here with Daniel Graham for the 1-yard strike, a 17-10 Patriots lead. He's not done, Brady, hooking up with Kevin Falk. Those were his 2 touchdown tosses. Patriots go on to win it and move on to take on San Diego next Sunday as the playoffs continue. 37-16 was the final there. Patriots on top. And we'll take a look at a wild first week of the 2007 season in college basketball when Singular at the half continues right here on CBS.
Wednesday's physics class?
Miss Evans, third row.
About our assignment.
Yes.
There is no proof yet.
Correct.
No definitive answer.
Right.
So our search is for the questions?
Exactly.
Exactly.
CBS Sports presents Singular at the Half, sponsored by Singular, raising the bar.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to Singular at the Half. I'm James Brown, along with Seth Davis, and Seth, the college basketball world rang in the new year in style. On New Year's Day, Texas Tech led New Mexico by 2. New Mexico's J.R. Giddens' desperation three-pointer coming up here is short at the buzzer. In his second try, Bob Knight registers win number 880 to become the all-time winningest men's Division I coach.
I think this game was about all the players that I've ever coached and all the coaches that have ever worked with me and all of the people that have helped in one way or another.
And on Tuesday, Ohio State's big freshman Greg Oden playing his first Big Ten game in a win over Indiana at home. Oden gets 21 points, 4 blocks, 5 rebounds. Just another night at the office, JB.
On Wednesday, Clemson's Cliff Hammond's game-winning layup with 3 seconds remaining gives the Tigers a 2-point win over Florida State. Hammonds carried off the court as Clemson remained undefeated.
And Oregon trying to stay undefeated on Thursday at home against USC. For USC, Nick Young hits a jumper with 21 seconds left. That put him up by 2 at that point. And then Aaron Brooks for Oregon fouled on the three-point attempt, but he only makes one of the first 2, so he has to intentionally miss the third. Time runs out, and Oregon gets its first loss of the year.
Meanwhile, yesterday, Oregon looking to rebound against top-ranked and undefeated UCLA, the Bruins. Darren Collison hits a three-pointer to tie the game at 66. Oregon's Aaron Brooks, again with the game on the line, puts the Ducks back up with 13 seconds left. UCLA's Josh Shipp, last-second three-point attempt goes up, and it is no good. And the fans in Eugene storm MacArthur Court as the Ducks take down the Bruins by 2.
Clemson trying to stay undefeated at home against Georgia Tech. Javaris Crittenden puts the Yellow Jackets up by 1 with 6.5 seconds left, but James Mays comes back for Clemson with the scoop. 2.2 seconds on the clock. Muhammad Fai misses the desperation shot for Georgia Tech, and yes, Clemson, the lone unbeaten team in America.
Seth doesn't like these highlights here. As time winds down to regulation, Virginia Tech's Xavier Dowdell misses this 18-footer for the win. With 32 seconds left in overtime, Hokies senior guard Jamon Gordon hits a shot to put the Hokies up by 1. With Virginia Tech leading by 2, A.D. Vasayo misses the second free throw attempt. Duke goes for the win, but Greg Paulus' three-point attempt blocked by Deron Washington. Virginia Tech wins it 69-67.
Let's throw some Harvard highlights in here. This is Arizona at Washington State late last night. Ivan Radenovich for Arizona, a chance to win it in regulation, but misses it. And then Washington State's Chris Matthews seals the 77-73 win with this layup. The Cougars win. So how long will Bob Knight coach at Texas Tech? Well, I spoke last night with Coach Knight's son, Pat, who's an assistant at Texas Tech. He's also the designated successor to become the coach once Knight retires. I don't think the school would have done that if Knight was going to be there a long time. Pat indicated to me that the wear and tear of the job is getting to the man behind the scenes. My sense, JB, is that Coach Knight has one more year left in him. I predict he will retire in the spring of 2008. Just a guess.
All right, heard it first from Seth Davis. And a reminder that you can catch video highlights of all of today's action along with in-depth expert analysis by visiting CBSSportsline.com. And Singular at the Half will continue in a moment.
Hey, I need that chart.
Emailing it now.
You're emailing from the copy machine?
No, I'm emailing from BizHub.
BizHub? Wait, did you make my copies yet?
Right after I scan this.
You're scanning at an email machine?
Email machine. I'm at the BizHub machine.
Copying.
Emailing, then scanning, then copying.
BizHub?
Do business better with award-winning color. Get details and free print samples at bizhub.tv.
I was proud of what our league had been able to do. You could have a SEC team win a national championship in the NIT in the same year.
You got to live in the moment and go out there and play as a team. retired with Mega March Madness as DirecTV supplements CBS's coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship.
You gotta see this video now. Log on to CBS11TV.com.
CBS Sports College Basketball coverage is sponsored by DiGiorno. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. By Suzuki Automotive. It's going to be a great ride. And by BizHub from Konica Minolta. It's the hub of your business. Kansas led by 14, but that was chopped, and it's 32-28. Bill Raftery here at halftime. Let's talk about some of the things you saw in that first half from the Jayhawks' point of view, first of all.
I just love the way Mario Chalmers plays. He steals the ball. He guards his guy. He does whatever you happen to need. What a consoling fact to have him as your lead guard. Gets to the rim, steps into the jumper with a little nylon. Cross-court reversal, fills it up. The ability to knock it down got South Carolina back into Benulis, who had not shot well, gets 2 clean looks. And how about a little daylight? Get some nylon.
Let's take a look at our Vonage first half statistics. You can see in the last 4:45 how South Carolina controlled it, outscoring Kansas by 9. In fact, they hit 6 of their last 9 shots. You know what is interesting? Bill Self said one of the things which has afflicted our Kansas team this year has been the fact that we don't enjoy any kind of success in a game. We don't have that killer instinct. And Dave Odom says he's noticing watching Kansas that they hit lulls. And that's when opponents like South Carolina have really got to grab them by the throat and squeeze.
When you watch that first 10 minutes of defense by Kansas, you had the feeling they're not going to be able to run anything South Carolina. They came down, turned it over a few times. They rushed their offense. That's where they get into those lulls. But you have to hand to South Carolina and Trey Kelly. And we'll see how Chambers feels as well with the sprained ankle. We think he's up to form after watching warm-ups. But Trey Kelly played all 20 and contributed in a leadership way.
And he begins the second half with a quick foul called on the Jayhawks. Russell Robinson, who picks up his first personal foul. And out there for South Carolina, they've got Kelly, as Bill just talked about, Brandon Wallace, Benulis is out there, Dwayne Day, and Bryce Sheldon. That is the Gamecock 5 to start the second half.
Well, Robinson had a Rice high. That was a nickel dimer in New York City. That little reach in.
Benulis the screen, another screen for Kelly, who's picked up by Julian Wright.
Here's that trap. You got to make him pay for it with a quick post-up.
Benulis at a couple threes. There's a great steal by Wright out there with Arthur and Robinson and Chalmers, and with the ball, Brandon Rush for 3.
And that's why you've got to rush back. They distribute the ball, they spread. The bigs run to the rim, and a terrific snap pass by Chalmers.
Rush now has 8 points in the game with that triple.
See if they can get back into that defensive mode now, KU. Force the patience here.
Here's Wallace. On the freshman Arthur.
Look how they close out with a hand up. There's the trap and the breakdown.
Here's Kelly, who has not hit from the field yet and has gone 0 of 6 for the game.
Now, he is not as explosive, but still, he's got some Valentine.
You know how important legs are for a shooter. And for a driver like he is.
You've seen my legs.
Yes, I have, and I know you can't shoot.
There's that cross screen, side pick and roll, and usually they have a duck in on it.
With the shot clock down to 7, this is Rush, who is a preseason All-America with some great names in college basketball.
He is the whole load. I mean, he understands patience with the bounce. We saw him get down early for the 3, uses screens, and I marvel at his ability without the basketball.
He's 4 of 5 so far. Carolina comes in this game 10-2. Kansas comes in 12-2, and a foul is called on Robinson for a second time. Here are the important players you signaled out before the game.
You know the talent we just mentioned of Rush. Chalmers' leadership quality, running the show. And Wright has not exhibited the offensive wizardry in distributing the basketball that we know he possesses.
Benulis gets his open shot there with Wright defending. And here comes Rush.
And look at the bigs to the rim.
Great spacing, too.
And look at cross court. You can't cover it all.
Rebound again, and there is a advantage in rebounding for South Carolina. At halftime, it was 9. And it stays there right now over the Jayhawks. That has been a big factor for South Carolina being as close as they are.
Now they compete, and they don't have quite the size either. Kick back to Wallace.
It's Sheldon for 3.
Oh, what a good choice, though, huh? He's got to make those.
Kelly. Another miss. 0-7. Gets his own miss. Kicks it outside. Day for 3.
And how unselfish was that kick out by the little guy?
Day off the bench with 10 points and a couple of triples.
It's great when your guards can help off the glass.
Sheldon is on Chalmers. Screen by Wright.
Automatic switch, and they don't take advantage with Wright and Sheldon.
Arthur the screen for Robinson. The mismatch inside. They went to Arthur, who was covered by Kelly. Shot clock at 3. And Chalmers inside with a beautiful play.
How about the finger roll? Not quite like the Dipper in his heyday in Lawrence, but nevertheless effective.
Chalmers has been terrific. A game-high 17 points. Day again for 3. He's knocked in another.
He is feeling it. I thought that was too quick a jack.
He has 3 3-point hits in this game. 2 in the second half. It's Darrell Arthur inside on the senior Wallace.
Oh, what a
Makes
pitch.
it work, and this kid has had a terrific shooting game. 5 of 7. He's got 10 for KU.
And Wallace was right there. He was able to lock and reload.
Kansas with a shooting percentage of 57%, and finally it drops for Kelly for the first time today from the field.
And he is struggling just a little bit trying to come back. He's the last one down.
That's a Kansas turnover. South Carolina had 8 in the first 9 minutes of the game, and Kansas off of that built up a 14-point lead.
He is clever with the dribble. I don't know if that was necessary, and then the reach in. Couple of unnecessary plays. Dave Odom up a little upset with his club. They're within hailing distance. Don't feed the giant.
So Kelly, the big gun for South Carolina, is 1 of 9. Wallace picks up the foul, and we've got time. Conference play is beginning some places. For most, it begins this week. But look at where the Big 12 is through these weeks of college basketball. Number 8 among the top schools.
You know, it must be some of the softer games at home that they're looking at. It is incredible. You look at that Mountain West. And I say Air Force. What do you think?
Seniors in 3-point shooting.
Unbelievable.
Aren't they something else?
UNLV. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Texas Tech on what they thought would be the tying game. It is a very strong league. The Missouri Valley, everybody knows about them.
Everyone's talking about
it. It's just terrific basketball. We in Southern Illinois, you know what Wichita State's been able to do, beating LSU and Syracuse. Then they had a little bit of a slump. Creighton, you know, is going to be the Missouri State. Just terrific along with Northern Iowa.
Robinson is out. Collins is in. This is Darrell Arthur.
How about the timeout? Go inside.
And here comes Trey Kelly, 1 of 9, shooting into the defense of Collins, who fouls him. He is the freshman from Chicago. He picks up the foul for Kansas. It's number 2 on him. And here is what the big guns of South Carolina have done today.
Well, statistically, Kelly, you wouldn't say, oh, get really excited, but he's just run the show. He's penetrated. He's found people. Wallace with good big-time rebounds. And, of course, Day from deep has been electrifying.
He's got 3 triples. His Sasha Khan has just checked in for Kansas. He picked up 2 quick fouls, quickly found the bench. Out is Julian Wright.
Nice steal again. Look at Chalmers. Did he get the deflection? I mean, Shelton's got to loosen him with the bounce, but you've got to know who's guarding you. Whew. He's got those quick hands, but it's his footwork that's extraordinary.
And this is no slight against South Carolina, but playing down to your opponent, these elite teams, these top 10 teams, do you find that a lot in the early part of the season?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, mentally they're not as set. And Dave Odom said we're really excited about playing Kansas. That's why kids pick schools like these.
Right.
They always play down to me. Coach, by the way.
Shot clock is at 4. A crossover by Kelly on Collins.
That's just a tough shot at the buzzer. You know, he's a little bit of a force. Couldn't really do what he'd like to do. Get himself settled.
Tomorrow, Dave's All New with David Arquette plus Green Girls star Jennifer Hudson. And later this week, don't miss Julianne Moore and Penelope Cruz. Dave's All New all this week on America's #1 network, CBS. This is Kevin Harlan with Bill Raftery. We are in Columbia, South Carolina. the 9th-ranked team in college basketball, Kansas. From the Southeastern Conference, the rugged Gamecocks of South Carolina.
I think they've got to get a touch inside and then get the, not a good pass there. You got to see the ball too. Brandon Rush, they're going to give it to him.
Rush picks up the foul. He held the jersey of Dwayne Day. That's the second on Rush.
Now, this is one of those plays you don't expect with this talent level. I mean, you've got to keep your eye on the ball. He was looking to see what the defense was, what they were going to try and run, and it's just unbelievable. He thought it was going against him initially, I think.
These two teams
that is.
Back in 04, in 2004, they met in South Carolina. Jumped off to a 12-0 lead in that game. Kansas came back and won by a handful of points. Not before Robinson hit some free throws and made a clutch layup for the Jayhawks late in that game. This is the return affair. Kelly, nice slide inside. He found Dominique Archie, who had just checked in the game for Benulis, and a foul is called, and it goes on Darrell Arthur. And that sets it up for KU. That is the second on the freshman.
And Kevin, that's a play due to experience. I mean, you've got the confidence. You can throw it in traffic. You know you've got the room. Great selection on the deck.
South Carolina was picked to finish 5th in the preseason Eastern Division. Tomorrow on CSI Miami, these detectives have dedicated their lives to hunting down killers, but this time the killer may be right beside them. Don't miss the first new CSI Miami of the year tomorrow on CBS. And at the free throw line, Dominique Archie, we told you he's the reigning Southeastern Conference Freshman of the Week. He has had 3 straight games in double figures. He has been a little bit off of that mark today.
Quick to the 10, a good offensive rebounder. Leads that team on that glass on the offense. It's a match, they do follow. Let's see if they change the look.
Wright is back in, taking the place of Arthur into Sasha Khan, who at point-blank range hit the more difficult of the 2 shots.
For great presence, though.
Yes.
The big guys, there's traffic around there. Nothing comes easy.
His first 2 of the game. Kelly again, he's played every minute, playing with the bad left knee. Missed the last game. He's the guy that makes this team go.
With the hands.
He's pickpocketed by Wright. It's a 3-on-1.
Here it is. And how about the ability to step through in the open floor? Only little guys are supposed to do that.
Archie against Sasha Khan. With a great spin move to get free, and is fouled inside, and it's picked up by KU.
How about the sleight of hand by the big fella? Now the presence of mind to realize the run under is going to occur. And a little woof at the end with that. Send it in.
So Wright picks up his 3rd personal foul. He had that great game, remember, against number 1 ranked Florida. He had 21 points and 10 rebounds in Las Vegas.
How many fans did they bring up there, though? Almost 7,000.
There are a lot of KU fans here, too, today.
Quite a few. Almost 1,000 they expected today.
And Archie, well, there are a lot of good freshmen in the country. Budinger over, of course, at Arizona. Durant at Texas, Hawes, and Oden. Everyone's talking about the big freshman for Ohio State, and Wright for North Carolina.
A good friend of mine, Billy Cunningham, loves Wright's ability. Of course, Oden everybody talks about.
With these kids, and a lot of them would have gone pro, are you finding that we have a different feel in college basketball right now? Better quality of play with all these freshmen playing and not jumping to the next level?
I'll let you know if they stay next year.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
But no, it is. It's really terrific. And a lot of them might find out they're not quite ready physically, and that's an opportunity to stay another and get closer to a degree if things falter in an athletic stance. And
yeah, exactly.
Shelton with the giveaway.
Trey Kelly has gone to the bench for the first time for South Carolina, and they've got Brandis Rayleigh-Ross, who is taking his place. And the foul goes on Sheldon for the first time.
Brandon Rayleigh-Ross had a good start at the SEC Rookie of the Week. A couple of times.
Yes,
runs
twice.
The floor, right? This is can make a play, too. So that's their alternate when Trey has to settle. A little bit of a match in the back. Nice. Oh, is that pretty?
Right to Sasha Khan.
How creative by Wright. I mean, usually you expect that mentality from a smaller performer.
Julian Wright has a couple of assists already in this game. Ball's picked up by Julian Wright. Haley Ross. Shot clock now is down to 10.
Now this is where they need Kelly to be creative. This is going to be a tough shot at the end of this.
Brandon Wallace across the lane.
Well, pretty good use, huh? That's the alternate. He's got a great field that's in the lane. Terrific handle for a guy that size.
And Rush with no foul and following with the deuce.
And a good non-call, too. And how about the balance to put that little nick on and still deliver?
He's got 12 points, and Chalmers has put in 15. Rush, by the way, has gone 5 of 6.
And Chalmers with the giveaway there as Wallace shows some ability again with the bounce.
Chalmers picks up his second foul. CBS Sports coverage of men's basketball will continue after this word from your local CBS station. Here, 9th-ranked Kansas leads by 9. Here are some other teams to keep an eye on beside the Jayhawks in your top 10 teams. But here are some teams between, 13 and going on through.
And you never know with these teams. And West Virginia is really playing well. They had to replace a lot of people. Young is playing terrific for them. Purdue, we had Adam Maui. Matt Painter's done a great job. Of course, they've got those fifth-year kids, Landry and Teague. And how about Washington State, huh?
Yeah, nice win, huh?
Storming the floor. Like my kids at Christmas.
UCLA losing yesterday?
Yeah, amazing. In Oregon, not for that graphic, but that perimeter play by that team is sensational.
Bill, in this game, it just looks like the Kansas bench. They just have too many answers to anything that South Carolina will post with.
They all pass and catch well. And they make good decisions, both front court and back court. And they've got size and a bench. I mean, it's really tough, and yet right now, only 7.
A top 10 bench, would you say, like the top 10 ranking?
Yeah. Particularly size-wise.
Rush for 3. Great rebound by Arthur, and counted for 2. Darrell Arthur comes up with another 2 points inside, now with 12.
It tells you what Wallace could do around the rim, though. And Dave Odom a little bit concerned right now. This is one you got to come up with somehow. And you can see the big fella, number 3-3. No, not Patrick Ewing, but formidable, to say the least.
Look like they're going to open up in some zone, and that's exactly what they're going to show.
Well, he's not crazy about his zone. We were talking to him before the game. Bill, he gets a little antsy. If they ring the bell, he'll get out of it quickly.
And Day can ring it. Rebound by Rush.
Somebody had to talk Bill into that zone.
She has 6 rebounds. Look at Chalmers flying. Sharon Collins loses the ball to Dominique Archie.
Heady play there, huh?
Julian Wright taking a breather on the Kansas bench. There's a traveling violation.
And Chalmers caused it. He may have put the hand in there.
That's what I thought.
But still, he's always got them in the right place.
South Carolina is shooting 39% in this game from the floor. You take a look at the turnover picture. Now remember, South Carolina had 8 turnovers in the first 9 minutes of the game when Kansas built that 14-point lead. Then settled down, started hitting their threes, and we had a 4-point game at halftime.
Dave Odom's been around. Met him years ago, running the 5-star camp. Good defense here.
Rayleigh Ross.
Oh, another one.
Knocked away by Robinson.
Getting in too deep.
And Rush with a 3. And Kahn with another rebound. And Collins with a 3. Out of bounds off of South Carolina.
You like the way Kahn goes for the ball, though. He puts those 2 hands up there, goes after it.
He had the knee injury early in just a handful of games.
Ferocious. He gives them a nice rotation up front. They can play small, they can play big. Give him with Wright, Arthur, and Kahn.
Put on a little weight, too. Looks like he's a little bit more muscular than a season ago.
I noticed you with the dessert earlier today. You got to be careful yourself.
I was following him through the line.
Look at how wide open on that little screen.
Arthur.
Doesn't make it, but good set play.
Rebound by Wallace, who has now collected 7 rebounds for South Carolina.
And they got the push. Let it go by Rush. That's the second time he's been caught in the open floor. He's got to camouflage it.
Kahn picks it up. You like the personalities of these two coaches, don't you? As coaches and as people.
Well, they're great guys. I mean, they love their kids. They go to the gym. They work hard. There's a little humor. And after, they're the same people. Very predictable. It's a comfort zone. And Davey's been just a great success story. Wake, you always think of Duncan. Josh Howard, he recruited, by the way, who turned out to be an extraordinary player. And then coming down here in a very tough league, competing. Played Florida in the final game last year in the SEC, and unfortunately, they end up winning the NIT, which is terrific. But this year, their goal is higher.
And they got some great transfers that'll be playing here next year. Downing has come from Cincinnati. Frederick has come from Georgia Tech.
And Bill Self, of course, the guy who's also done it in a number of places.
Boy, look at Rush. So much more aggression. Another rebound by Sasha Kahn. And this is a triple by Rush.
That's what Bill's looking for, somebody to step up and make a few in a row. Because that's the one thing they're lacking.
Here's Sheldon. About this time in the first half that South Carolina had a little push.
Sheldon just can't get himself free because of the quickness to cover.
9-point game. Jayhawks have led by as many as 14. Bernoullis hit a couple of threes, which got things rolling in the first half.
This should open up the inside with the perimeter shooters now. They should be able to get a touch.
A screen by Wallace, deflected by Rush with some great Kansas defense and picked up by Collins. And the Hawks are running. Collins and Rush and inside to Darrell Arthur. Counted for two and a foul. What a play.
That's why the bigs run the floor. And Rush, he had missed the last jump shot. Great patience by him. You love when the guys dive to the rim. Their job is to take a defender, maybe get an offensive rebound, and once in a while.
We just showed all those top freshmen. You got to put this kid in there, don't you think?
People have not seen his ability yet. I think by the end of the year they'll be quite aware. But the little kiss shot to finish it off, extraordinary. Get the puppies up and down.
And he was hooked up to an IV earlier this week, battling the flu. Missed that double-day practice situation on Tuesday and some of Wednesday. Came back in the afternoon session on Wednesday. He's back now in his old stride.
Sure is. Great talent, great prospect. Stretching the zone out.
I like that.
But they have not been able to pop anybody in the lane. I mean, there's great passing angles.
It's Kelly for three.
That's what they're settling for now. No touch in the lane, and Davey knows it.
Trey Kelly is 1 of 12. Here comes, what a great spin move by Collins inside the lane.
Well, what body control. I said the last time we had a game, he reminds me of Joe Morris, the old giant running back.
Yes.
The body strength, and you can get between defenders.
Kansas on a 7-0 run. And you take a look at where Kansas has made great strides from the first half to the second in rebounding. And South Carolina is still looking for that great shot from outside to drop in the second half.
And you can see the tough defense exhibiting in South Carolina, struggling at 41%. And they're toughing it up on the perimeter, so you need somebody either going to the goal with the bounce or somebody in the lane catching, and if they collapse, kick it out there, you might get some opportunities, Kevin.
Kansas has tied their biggest lead. They're up again by 14 points. South Carolina has not hit from the field in the last 4 minutes of the game.
Bill Self becoming his own coach.
Here comes Kelly. Here's Sheldon. We got Archie out there. Bernoullis for three. Missing that, but fouled on the play, meaning 3 at the line. The foul goes on Chalmers, who picks up his 3rd of the game for KU.
And coaches are always talking about that closeout under control.
Up by 14 and 7:08 to play. CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Lexus and their pursuit of perfection. By Esurance, take a fresh look at your auto insurance. Compare and save at Esurance today. And by Coca-Cola, devoted to refreshing fans of NCAA basketball. And the Kansas Jayhawks, 9th ranked in college basketball, on top by 14. 18 of their 24 second-half points have come inside the lane.
The big thing, I think, is the power game, and now the inability to attack the zone is a major issue as well, Kevin. South Carolina relying on perimeter play have not been as tough around the 10. You got to challenge these big guys inside.
And at the free throw line is Benulis from Lithuania, and he was fouled taking a three-point shot by Chalmers right before our break. Tonight on CBS, when a straight-A student gets involved with a fight club, it changes his life. Don't miss an all-new Cold Case. That's tonight at 9, 8 Central. CBS with Bill referee Kevin Harlan. I know that Bill Self told us before the game to find your true worth as a team. You have to be able to win away from home. This is their second true road game, losing at the ball last time. This game is very important for this Kansas team.
Well, I think every time you play, the style of play helps you come tournament time. You're getting ready for your conference, the competition level. You can't do it in practice. You see more and more guys doing these home and homes too, just to get a feel around the country. It may not be more than 2.
Here's Wright working on Benulis, Collins, and Chambers for 3. Chalmers for 3, and tapped up and in by Wright.
How about the extra pass? Great feel and distribution.
KU has their biggest lead, sticking with the zone.
Yeah, they really are. That's the first time they've got a catch on the foul line. You got to turn and find somebody.
Bryce Sheldon with a 3.
Well, that's his game, and that's one thing you got to be concerned in his zone. Tag him.
So Sheldon is out there with Dominique Archie and Wallace and Trey Kelly, and they go inside. There is Arthur with a great pass on top. Beautiful feed. Right with the assist.
Might call it King Arthur's court with his ability around the rim. See the size when you cover in the back. Julian, big wingspan. Didn't get out that time.
Sheldon missing a 3. And picked up by Sharon Collins. One of the top 2 point guards to come out of high school basketball a season ago. And as Bill told you earlier, recruited in baseball, recruited in football as a wide receiver and defensive end.
I think a Big Ten wanted him for football.
He's got that size.
Here they finally go inside, take advantage of Trey, and it ends up ineffective.
Go back again moments ago.
Just a terrific feel and look, and you hold your guy off nicely. And I mentioned early in the game the ability to pass the ball by Wright. Just understands what type of trajectory, what type of release, and he's unselfish to boot.
Arthur checks out. Sasha Khan has come back in for KU. South Carolina look tired to you?
Yeah, they look tired, and Trey's really not a factor this far from the rim. They're not making a deep one now, and Dave takes that walk of, not disgust because his kids have played hard, but just, you know you're not ringing a bell. You don't have many answers.
Well, it's a big deal in this city with the 9th-ranked team coming in here, and it was the highest-ranked opponent to visit this building in 7 years.
Look at the slip to the goal now, and they try and get Khan. He'll do it again. Takes the little guy. Nice switch.
Collins for 3.
Well, they are
making it 2. It's a 2-point shot by Sharon Collins. And now he has 6.
Sort of limping home right now. Fatigue, the banging of the glass, the consistency of the physical play.
And a 3 from Trey Kelly, his first today on a 2 of 13 shooting afternoon.
Now they will close a little more on him now.
And Chalmers gets it outside to Robinson. What a great 3-guard tandem they've got right now. Robinson outside. Chalmers. Collins.
Now they run some nice stuff. Ran a shuffle cut and a side pick and roll. They got the carry.
Carried the ball. Kansas is rolling with the lead over South Carolina. 3:50 left.
What's going on, Sanchez?
Nelson is pruning.
Oh, come on. The game's on.
Get him out of there.
Welcome to the Bud Light bunker, Nelson.
What do you guys do down here?
Nothing.
Sweet.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
We got a bogey. Get him out of there.
And tonight on 60 Minutes, the story of the first casualty of nuclear terrorism by poison. The victim's wife talks about it in a rare interview. Plus back-to-back episodes of Cold Case, followed by Without a Trace. That's all tonight on CBS, America's #1 network. In this game, Terrell Arthur has put in 17 for Kansas. Chalmers has put in 15. You see Trey Kelly there, the 4th-ranked scorer in the Southeastern Conference at 2 of 13 afternoon shooting.
His name is Trey, and he has had many opportunities to just limit it. Very courageous with a sprained knee. Did not know if he could play coming in. Didn't know how far he could go and contribute, but he's been solid in finding people and running the offense.
38% shooting for South Carolina. Kansas a riveting 56% shooting this afternoon with the shot clock at 8. Intercepted by Chalmers, another steal and a foul. That's the foul called on Trey Kelly, and the 5th steal by Chalmers of KU.
Trey Kelly, such an important cog in this offensive machine. When he got the looks, there was always a hand, somebody challenging. He was actually settling sometimes late in the shot clock. Just not the typical Trey Kelly day. Ran the club, but just couldn't do the things ringing a bell. And by the way, did you see Rush at the top of the zone? They put him there, take away the long shot from the top of the key.
He's got it right now. He's working on Day. 5 assists this afternoon for Robinson. Chalmers comes up with it.
Timeout, I believe.
And a timeout and 2:56 left on our second half clock, and the Jayhawks up by 13. Fresh off their win over Kansas City yesterday, the Colts will take on Baltimore next Saturday at 4:30 Eastern on CBS, followed by the Sunday tilt between the Patriots, who took care of the Jets today, against the San Diego Chargers. It all begins Saturday and on Sunday with the NFL Today with JB and company.
And of course, Kansas here, Lou Perkins in town, the athletic director, renowned athletic director. He coached at University of South Carolina at Aiken. 13 years as a basketball coach and AD down there. His kids were here to honor him, some of his former players, and they're naming the Hall of Fame of Athletics after him, huh? Well, every place he's been, he's done an extraordinary job.
Arthur with 17. Chalmers just put in his 17th point right there. And again, Kansas, that great shooting, although above the arc, only 4 of 15 this afternoon. And rebounding, they're +2. There is a 3, and it's offered by Kelly and picked up inside by Brandon Wallace. And Wallace now has 12 points. And on the afternoon, he has collected 7 rebounds. He's averaging 9 a game.
They've made great decisions when the ball is entered to the box. Either going opposite or to the open man, who's nice cut off the curl. Oh, pretty.
Robinson got the great feet on the wing.
How about Kahn's screen? Oh, terrific brush.
South Carolina will begin Southeastern Conference play this Wednesday. Here is a tray by Trey Kelly. He's hit now 2 in the second half. He's got 10. He's averaging 17 a game. And for the Jayhawks, they got the Cowboys of Oklahoma State coming up. Conference play beginning for them midweek in Lawrence at Allen Fieldhouse.
How good are they playing?
Yeah, they're playing well.
Hogan's one of the great talents.
Kansas began this season in the AP number 3. Sports Illustrated had him number 1. Robinson drives inside. Inside.
What a nice play, too. The last time they curled, that time Robinson flared back. They ran out, put it on the deck, and the finish by Kahn.
Sasha now has 6 rebounds, 4 on the offensive glass. A 3 by Kelly and a rebound inside by Wallace, who drives into Rush and a foul. Well, Tuesday on CBS, Queen Latifah hosts the awards show where you pick the winners. The biggest names in movies, TV, and music come out for the People's Choice Awards, live Tuesday at 9, 8 Central on CBS. And a 20-second timeout taken by South Carolina, trailing by 14 again. Great matchup next Saturday, college basketball on CBS. Tennessee will take on number 6 Ohio State, or you'll see Villanova and Syracuse. Check for the game and time in your area. That's next week on CBS, and a full weekend of NFL football to boot. Yeah, we go back to South Carolina. A record of 10-2 coming in, 7-1 at home. They had won 6 consecutive games coming into this afternoon, and the Jayhawks had won 6 straight coming into today.
And they had the 1 win without Trey Kelly, and now they got to hope that Kelly gets better in the next couple of days. That means so much, the heart and soul of this club.
See Dave Odom on the sideline, a Southeastern Conference Coach of the Year in 04, a 3-time ACC Coach of the Year at Wake Forest. He was the National Coach of the Year with Tim Duncan. This is a great player in '95. It gets me to thinking about these coaches who have been around a long time, and it'd be great to get your take on Bob Knight, who has become the all-time winningest coach, surpassing Dean Smith. Give us some perspective on that.
I got to know Bob at Army. I actually coached against him years ago. And, you know, just amazing, the longevity, the thirst. And we always felt that he could take 5 guys against your team, 5 strangers, and beat you. I mean, he's been able to get high level. Some kids who aren't quite as good some years and still muster 20-win seasons and get to the NCAA or the NIT. And, you know, just to surpass one of the great people, too, Dean Smith. It's quite an honor for Bob.
And I think Dean was very supportive of all that. I think he enjoyed watching from afar.
Dean had his great day in the sun and regaled by most coaches as one of the true innovators in the game. A little blow-by, huh?
Chalmers
on the deck.
Sailing in.
A little Chalmers music.
Mario has had a terrific afternoon. He's got 19 points, 5 steals, and 3 assists. Rayleigh Ross with a 3. And a rebound by Chalmers. They also got 17 this afternoon from Jarrell Arthur. And Kansas accomplished what they needed to accomplish, winning on the road in a tough environment before the start of conference play. Arthur had the 17. Chalmers had the 19. Rush had 12 with 6 rebounds and 4 steals. Day leads South Carolina with 13. That's it. Kansas wins it. The 9th-ranked team in the country may move up in the polls. Today's Chevrolet players of the game. It's Arthur with the Jayhawks with 17, and Dwayne Day with the 13-point performance and 3 threes for South Carolina, who now fall to 10-3, 7-2 at home as they get ready to take on Georgia in the beginning of Southeastern Conference play this week. The Jayhawks and Bill Self now go to 13-2, 1-1 in true road games. And like we said, 7 consecutive wins now with today's win. And the former one-time volunteer coach at Kansas leads his team to a nice win today. For Bill Raftery, Kevin Harlan sending you to a commercial, then to JB in our studio.